Hi everyone, my name is Destiny with the San Francisco Adult Probation Department. Today is a special day, and I'm so excited to be here because you are going to learn a little bit about my coworkers and the amazing diversity we have here at the Adult Probation Department. Let's dive right in and start with a question for Veronica. Veronica Martinez, why is racial equity important to you?
Hi, Destiny. Thank you for your question. I just wanted to also let you know that I work with the finance department here in the adult probation department. I'm very proud to do so. And for me, racial equity is important because we need representation of every voice and every experience at each table. Every voice that is missing from any conversation is a gaping hole that we will have in the services we provide and in the support that we offer to our community, whether it's toward public safety or towards our clients. So if we don't have full representation equitable, we can not function as we should. We will have gaps in our services.
Thank you, Veronica. Next, I have Deputy Probation Officer Victor Williams. Victor, what barriers did you face growing up?
Thank you for the question. First, I want to say that a lot of organizations in probation are kind of driven by stats and evidence-based practices. And in short, what that means is just that doing things that are known to work. So with that being said, my upbringing, by all accounts, the stats would say that I shouldn't be where I am today. I'm the product of welfare, single family home, or single mother, raised by a single mother. I'm one of 7 kids. Everybody in my immediate family has been incarcerated. And obviously, I'm a Black male. So with that being said, I was raised in impoverished communities. I was raised where there was a lot of gangs, but because people believed in me and had enough courage to step out their regular way of thinking and push me in another direction, I was able to break through all those barriers.
I have a question for Raina. Raina, why do you do this work?
No, it's about changing the lives of the people we serve. It's great to see lives changed, but it's an amazing feeling to be a part of it, knowing that you have impacted another life in a positive way. When I started with the department in 2011, I was the only Samoan or Pacific Islander in the department. While working as a probation officer in the transitional age unit, I saw the increase of incarcerated Pacific Islanders and the lack of culturally sensitive programs available to assist this population. I was determined to make a difference and founded the Transforming Our Attitude program, known as TOA. With the support of the Pacific Islander community, the Samoan Community Development Center, PI women leaders and men, we made this program what it is today. A successful program that celebrates and honors the culture and heritage of the Samoan and Pacific Islander people, while equipping these individuals with tools for positive change behavior. When people feel proud of their culture, their identity, or even see another who looks just like them speaking life, there's power in that. They will listen because we both understand where we started from. You know, they may not be sure of their goals or how to accomplish them, but with the right support and tools, we can definitely help them get there.
Thank you, Raina. Next, I have straight from the Moscone Center, DSW assignment, Hashim. Hashim, where are you from and what was it like growing up there?
So I was born and raised in San Francisco, California. I sprinkled in a little bit of Brisbane and Sacramento for college. I love living in San Francisco. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. I love the fast and on-the-go lifestyle, the diversity in the city, and just everything about the city, the tourist attractions, whatever you can name, I enjoy, and I look to live the rest of my life in San Francisco, California.
Thanks. Next, we have Precious Malone. Precious, what does racial equity mean to you?
Racial equity is important to me because it changes laws and it changes institutions and systems. It acknowledges people's lives and experiences and the value that people bring to society. It allows people to tell their stories so that we all can develop a better understanding of one another, and it brings unity and appreciation for all people. That is why racial equity is important to me.
Azar, why do you do this work?
Hey, Destiny. Honestly, I'm just a believer of second chances and not judging people by their arrest history or an unfortunate incident that occurred in their lives. The best thing about being a probation officer supervising clients is that you get to meet people, build rapport, meet their families. It's an awesome job. It's rewarding. And I think some of the most rewarding aspects of it are when you meet your client years after and they just run up to you in the middle of the shoot and they say hi and they tell you all the good things that have transpired in their lives since they successfully completed probation. And it's one of the nicest things to feel is that you left some kind of positive impact on their life or some kind of impression that they'll always remember.
Lisa, where are you from and what was it like growing up there?
Thanks for the question, Destiny. I was born and raised in San Francisco and grew up in the Outer Mission District, which is a very ethnically and economically diverse section of the city, and a place that heavily influenced my decision to work in the public sector to serve my community. Growing up, I loved that my neighborhood was always bustling and never quiet, and I loved its sounds, the rattling and hissing of the muni buses along Mission Street, the car and foot traffic at all hours of the day, and the rumbling of BART trains nearby. And I loved that I could always find some delicious lumpia, pizza, pupusas, all within walking distance. And I loved that my neighbors in the apartment complex where I lived spoke other languages besides English, including my family.
Next, I have a question for Edwin. Edwin, where are you from and what was it like growing up there?
Yes, hi, thanks for the question. I was born in El Salvador and came to San Francisco at the age of 4. While in San Francisco, I grew up in the Mission District, in a predominantly Latino part of the Mission District. Growing up there was great. Not only did it help shape the person who I became, but also the person who I am now. It kept me connected with the community. It showed me the importance of never forgetting where I came from and never losing my cultural identity and my cultural pride. And it really helped me realize that I wanted to choose a career that gave me the opportunity to give back to my community and help as much as I can with my community.
Thank you. I have the next question for Sabrina. Sabrina, why do you do this work?
That's a great question, Destiny. I came into this work by accident. I went to school to be a therapist and learned all about evidence-based practices. And when I graduated and was learning about all the different careers out there, probation stuck out for me. So I went for it, and I wanted to be the representation, the positive representation for people that look like me in law enforcement. I believe in second, third, and fourth chances, and I let my clients know that, we all stumble, we all fall up, but it's how you get back up and move forward. And so I wanted to be a part of helping people change and really do better. So I believe if you know better, you can do better. So, that's kind of why I got in it. I'm just passionate about helping people move forward through their lives and not being stuck, with all the negative stuff that they've had to endure.
Next, I have a question for Art. What barriers did you face growing up?
Yeah, I was really thinking really hard about this question, and it takes me back. My mom and my dad immigrated to this country in the late 1960s. So during that time, the closest community for them to feel comfortable living was in the Mission District. And I was young at that point. English was my second language. So going to school, it felt that I was always behind based on the fact that I didn't understand English. So I always put in the second, always in the lowest reading class. And during that also time, there was a lot of poverty during that time. As I grew up, I still remember one of my goals was how was I going to get home safe from school to home, based on the fact that there was a lot of drugs and gangs in that area, and there was heavy recruitment. So one of my goals was, how is that going to make it safe? And, you know, but for me, it was very important to make my mother proud based on the sacrifices she made for me as being the sole provider. So I try to make her proud, and this is the reason why it led me to this field, so I could be an example.
Next, we'll have Rex. Rex, where are you from, and what was it like growing up there?
Thank you, Destiny. I was born and raised in the Philippines until I was 15 years old. Growing up in a province, for me, I tend to appreciate and find happiness in simple things. I was raised by a single dad who only wanted for his children to have a better future. Lack of meaningful opportunity, especially in rural areas, has always been a problem. Fortunately, 8 years ago, my family and I were given an amazing opportunity to move here in the US and start a new life. Here I am now, proud to say to be the first generation college student in my family and honored to be working with the San Francisco Adult Probation Reentry Division. Thank you.
Last but not least, we have Chief Deputy Adult Probation Officer Chris Tulloch. Chris, why do you do this work, and why is racial equity important to you?
Generation born in the United States. I'm also a former high school dropout, and I got to where I am today because someone gave me a second chance. So I thrive at this work because we are definitely the field of second chances. Racial equity is important to me because I believe racial equity and diversity is deeper than feeling satisfied that your staff photo is comprised of multiple shades of skin tone. Diversity is also in our experiences, our beliefs, how our opinions and input is valued, our credibility, and the weight of our authority and influence is equal regardless of race. That's what racial equity and probation means to me.
Thank you, colleagues, for sharing your stories. If there's a takeaway, it's that we have more in common than we do differences. Thank you, everyone, for listening in and learning more about probation's diversity and commitment to racial equity. I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentation.